The following video is something that I did not plan for.
Today, we walk out and we march because we call BS. But we can't let the revolution stop here. It extends beyond social media. It extends beyond protests. It extends beyond being an ally. It's about solidarity. And with solidarity comes sacrifice. And with sacrifice comes action. It's about policy and change. So what are we going to do about it?
And it was something completely unexpected of what I was going to do.
When is the time to talk about it? After Sandy Hooks, when 28 innocent teachers and children died, when is the time to talk about it? Now!
And I had been debating over and over and over again on whether or not to make a video like this, especially considering the circumstances, and that is a very touchy subject.
It wasn't a shot, it was 154 shots in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and I am only in 5th grade when we hear the news. When my teacher breaks down crying at her desk, every tear hitting the ground like another life lost. 26 lives were lost in 5 minutes. 5th grade, and these numbers are rattling around in my head. And on the way home from school, some kid on the radio says it sounded like tin cans rattling. And it's something I've never been able to unhear. 5th grade, when Sandy Hook sunk her hook in my mouth and pulled me onto the boat that every child in America is in. 7th grade, and we have our 100th lockdown drill because it is a part of our routine now. 7th grade, and I am at school, and I have been taught to look for threats everywhere. So a construction team somewhere is enough to send me into a panic attack, building something up while breaking me down, because every bam, bam, bam sounds like the pop of a pistol. Every hammer to the nail like it's going into my coffin, every metronomic beat like a parent's worst nightmare, echoing as loudly as their screams like the pounding of my heart, every bam, bam, bam like the rattle of tin cans, like my knocking on the counselor's door, with my 5th grade teacher's tears in my eyes, because even though it is only construction, I can't stop seeing my school's name as a headline.
And a controversy that is currently going on in this world.
Now, to lawmakers who say that owning a gun makes people safer, I ask them why it is that for every self-defense gun homicide, there are 34 criminal homicides using a gun.
But at the end of the day, I've decided to make this video.
We are sending a figurative middle finger right up to the NRA and gun manufacturers across the nation.
As I've already said, to raise awareness, but also to let people know that they're not alone.
The GOP and the very rare Democrat in Washington and in Lansing has succumbed to the National Rifle Association's money, and they have denounced gun control as being futile, as being something that won't influence gun violence. They have said that they will not lessen gun violence, that they will not prevent these ubiquitous shootings that we are seeing plague our nation today.
Whatever they're going through, that there are people out there who feel the same as you.
We send our thoughts and prayers, we make our social media posts, and then we mourn. Everyone turns their heads, and they say that they don't want to talk about it right now. That now is not the time to make it political. So once again I ask, when is the right time to talk about it? Now!
The point of this video is not to get views or to increase my subscriber count or anything like that. It's simply to put it out there to let people know.
Although this is alarming, now is not the time to hide in fear. We have all the power to come together and enforce stronger security and stricter gun laws in our community. One step at a time, we will reach our goal. Don't let this epidemic fade away once again. Now is the time to continue to fight for our lives lost in these horrible incidents.
That I am one of the many who stand with Parkland and stand with all the other schools who've had to go through these horrific events.
We are here stronger than ever before, demanding change.
Anyone who's watching this to understand the importance of this.
Be the change we need. Be bold, be brave, because if you don't do something, who will?
Okay, ready, girl? Okay. March 14th, 1 month after the Parkland shooting, where 17 kids lost their lives to a shooter, all because gun laws are not enforced as much as they should be. Today, on March 14th, I marched with the rest of my fellow classmates and students from other schools within and around the Ypsilanti and Michigan community to raise awareness about the lack of gun laws that have been put in place and measures that have been put in place to keep people like the Parkland shooter, the Columbine shooter, and the Orlando shooter from gaining guns in order to kill people. These are weapons of war. They're also weapons of self-defense, but they're being used in the wrong way. And so today, on March 14th, I decided to make this video to not only help raise awareness, but to also let people know that I stand with Parkland and Orlando and Columbine and all the other people, families, friends, students, teachers, anyone, whether they've been through a school shooting or just happen to know someone who's been through this type of horror, that I stand with you and that I am against any type of gun rules that the NRA supports. I know this is very difficult for me to make, not because of emotions or anything like that, but because I know that whenever any type of controversial topic like this comes up, like gun control, and whether or not we should arm certain people or not arm certain people, that there's going to be backlash, and that there are going to be people with strong opinions who aren't going to like what I have to say or what other people have to say. Me being a high school student, and just being a student in general, I've never once had to worry about whether or not I would be shot down at school, because I've never actually experienced what Parkland or Orlando or Columbine or Sandy Hook had to endure. And so I'm making this video again to raise awareness, but also to let everyone out there, fellow students and anyone else who has gone through this or who hasn't gone through this, to let them know that we can make change, that we are the change. Whether you're a teenager, whether you're an adult, whether you're an elderly, whether you're just a child, that you can do stuff to help. If you're of the age to vote, please register to vote. Make sure you vote, that you get people out of office that should not be in office, that support the NRA in everything that they do, that is keeping schools unsafe environments for children, that allows people to legally purchase guns that shouldn't have guns, whether they're mentally unstable or they have a revenge plot or they just simply have the urge to kill people for no good reason. I know this may seem staged, or this may just seem like I'm doing it for views, but I'm not. I can't say for myself that I have personally experienced anything like this, but that doesn't mean that I don't care deeply about this. Killing people in cold blood for no reason, however it happens, is not okay. And I do sincerely believe that this can end, and it will end. Our generation, along with all the other generations, can help stop this from continuing to happen. Australia is the perfect example. They've gone more than 20 years of not having a single school shooting because they passed laws within less than a year of their last school shooting, and they haven't had it for 20 plus years. What does that say to the rest of the world? That they're doing something right. What does that say to us? That we've had multiple school shootings, and yet all we can do is send thoughts and prayers to the victims and their families. And yet now, after so many years, we're finally able to stand up and say no more, that we're done, and that we need to take a stand for what we believe in, and need to take a stand for those who can't take a stand themselves, and for those who have lost their lives to people who thought it was okay to go in and massacre innocent people who have done nothing wrong. I know these may just seem like empty words to you, that I'm just saying this because it's what's going on now, that it's a current event. Anyone who's watching this to understand the importance of this. The adults are not helping us. Yes, there are some adults who do stand with us, and it is great to see you standing with us, but that's not enough. There are adults out there, politicians, government officials, even non-governmental officials who are saying that we are wasting our time protesting, that we are just running on our emotions, that we aren't thinking clearly, and that children can't change anything about this, that we need to just move on, and all that they can do is send thoughts and prayers our way. It's great to see that people want to grieve for the loss of other people's children, but there needs to come a time when we don't need to send thoughts and prayers to people, but instead stand together and be able to live normal lives without the fear of being shot down by someone who has a gun, who purchased it legally, who's not of the right mindset, whether it's mental health or a revenge plot or just simply wanting to kill people for no reason. We need to take a stand, and I am proud to stand with Parkland. As I keep repeating myself over and over again, and this may seem pointless, but you guys don't understand or maybe you do understand it, whatever the case is that this is important and it's been going on for far too long. And I'm not the type of person who usually voices my opinion in this type of way on this type of platform. I usually just save it for when I'm talking with family and friends about the issue, most likely my parents, but it's at a point where I decided enough was enough. I went to a rally today in support of Parkland and in support of just school shootings and anti-gun laws that need to be put in place. It's not about me. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than any one individual who was at that rally. It's about all of us coming together as a nation, as a community, as states, as students, to say enough is enough and that we need to stop this. We need to prevent more guns from getting into the wrong hands. We need to prevent the NRA from continuing with what they're doing, that we need to take a stand. I know this video is very long and it probably seems boring and most of you probably won't even see this. To those of you who do watch this and take the time to watch my video on this situation, thank you for taking the time to read this, and whether or not you would agree with my opinion or how I stand on this, just know this, that whatever you're going through, whatever you've experienced, whatever awful tragedies you've experienced, there are people out there who feel similar, who have gone through similar situations, and that there is something that you can do about it, whether or not people agree with you or not. It does not matter how many times people try to stop you, how many times people try to tear you down, how many times people try to tell you that it's pointless, it's worthless, there's no point in keep fighting because things aren't going to change. Things will change. We are the change. Parkland is the change. If it wasn't for them, this wouldn't have been happening. And sadly enough, it took another school shooting for the nation to come together and to see that things aren't right this way. It's even more empowering to know that instead of just grieving and moving on like every other incident that's happened, we're coming together and saying enough is enough. We need to stop. We get it. Your thoughts and prayers are not enough anymore. You need to start taking action and help prevent this, not just keep going on with your lives like nothing ever happened. Well, I think I have said enough for one video, so with that, I think I will end this video here. Whether or not you agree with what I've said in this video or what you've seen in this video, please leave your comments down below, what you think, what you believe in. Please keep it friendly as possible because we want to keep this a positive environment. And just let me know your thoughts on what you think about Parkland, about school shootings, about this National Walkout Day. Hopefully you get something out of this video, whether it's new outlook or a new perspective, or even maybe your mind was changed. Something, hopefully, whether it be good or bad. But with that being said, and my dog barking for attention, I will leave it at that, and I will see you next time for a much more lighthearted video on my channel. And with that being said, this stork is out. Bye.